So you've been working on your abs, you've been doing insane amount of crunches and other exercises on the ground, and you can't seem to advance when it comes to your core strength and stability. Well, guess what? Most of the exercises you've been doing have probably been not as efficient as you could be when it comes to abdominal workouts. And I'm going to show you how to overcome this barrier and how to do exercises that are much more efficient and much more effective because they are built in a way that our abdominals actually work instead of just doing repetitions. Abdominals and your core musculature has different types of movements and different types of contractions that they do that do not correlate with just punching out reps. So let's check out what we can do to work on our abs the way we are supposed to. Now, considering that your abs are working all day long to stabilize your core and to stabilize your body, and if you didn't have abdominals, if you didn't have abs, you would just fall apart. This is why we will be working mostly with static holds. The problem with static holds is that they can get really boring, but we have a solution for that. We just make it a lot more interesting. So instead of sitting down and holding static holds like so, or doing 10 minutes of planks every day, which can get amazingly boring, you will need one piece of equipment that is going to change everything for you, and that is a pull-up bar. Now, the cool thing about the pull-up bar is that we're not only going to be working on our abdominals, we're also going to have some amazing forearm inclusion, which is pretty good for grip strength and for forearm strength and musculature, but we're also going to have a lot of decompression for basically every joint, starting at our elbows and moving down all the way to our knees. Now, those two things are pretty amazing benefits, and I would not scoff at them because the decompression is going to help you with all kinds of problems that come with lack of mobility and pain or a sedentary lifestyle, and the grip strength is going to help you with all kinds of lifting stuff as well as normal day stuff like opening freaking jar. Now, if you do not have enough grip strength to work on these exercises, check out this video from last week. We worked on our grip strength progression from level 1. For the first exercise, we're going to grab our pull-up bar and we're going to hold the first static hold to the front. Now, you want to relax your shoulders, you want to relax your upper body first, and then from here, you want to start contracting your abdominals and holding for 30 seconds. Each of these static holds we're going to be doing for 30 seconds before we move on at the very end to dynamic exercises. This static hold pretty much targets your whole abdominal musculature, but the problem is it does not affect your obliques as much as it could. So for that, we're going to be working sideways, holding 30 seconds to the left, relaxing, holding 30 seconds to the right, and relax. Now, once you have mastered level 1, we can move on to some more advanced static holds. We're going to start out with pseudo L-sits, hanging ones. So basically, left side, hold, 10, 20, 30, and switch. Right side, hold, 10, 20, 30. Amazingly, with those exercises, you're going to have some pretty great hip flexor inclusion, which is good for all kinds of stuff that we do, from squatting to even benching, because it stabilizes our lower back depending on how strong and how flexible our hip flexors actually are. Now, we can move on from the pseudo L-sit to the full L-sit. Hold, 10, 20, 30, and relax. Now we have a repertoire of some static holds that are going to be much harder than any kind of crunches that you can do, and you have the additional benefit of building some amazing forearms and some amazing grip strength. With this under control, we're going to check out some variations for our abdominal static hangs. For instance, the knee raise hang, then the knee raise oblique hang, left side, the knee raise oblique hang, right side. Now, before we can move on to one of my favorite abdominal exercises, the windshield wiper, we are going to learn how to do this exercise in a static way, which basically just means for the windshield wiper, you would have to pull your legs all the way up, and from here, you'd be turning left to right. So instead of doing that, we want to be able to pull in and hold like so for 30 seconds. Move on to holding the left side for 30 seconds. Move on to holding the right side for 30 seconds. Now, you might have noticed that we're not just working our abs, we're literally working every single muscle that has any kind of connection to our core as well as our shoulders and our lats to stabilize the movement, our spinal erectors, which are also there to stabilize our spine during the exercise, and we're even using some of our leg musculature for keeping the leg extended and contracted, which means our quadriceps has to be in a flexed position. Now that we've done the windshield wiper statics, we're gonna do some dynamic windshield wipers. Basically, pull in, pull up, and left side, right side, left side, right side, left side, right side, pull in, and dismount. I'm also going to give you a handful of a little bit easier exercises to do once you're done with all the hanging ones to squeeze out the last bit of energy you have left in your core. Because at some point, some of you will have weaker arms than they have abdominal musculature. So your hands are going to give out first, and now you still have some energy for your abdominals. And to counteract this, I want you to sit on an elevation, any kind of elevation, because this one is a pseudo L-sit leg raise that we're gonna do left-sided, right-sided. And then we want to raise both legs and hold statically. Why are we doing this on an elevation? Because once we move down to the ground, it's gonna become a little bit harder. We need to put our hands on the ground, use your fingertips to elevate a little bit more, and now we can do some pseudo L-sit holds, left side, right side. If you do some upward and forward rotation in your scapula, like so, you're gonna have a lot of trap engagement, which is pretty awesome as a bonus. Once we've done left side, right side, we can work a little bit dynamically, slowly from one side to the other side, and repeat the whole process a couple of times. When it comes to programming, we have chosen time under tension for our core work. We are going to try to do 10 minutes every single day. If you have a pull-up bar at home, that's amazing. If you don't, you can maybe do 2 or 3 times a week if you are at the gym. If you don't have any of this stuff, try and do the exercise that we did sitting down for a little bit of a longer period. As for the dynamic exercises, I'm going to tell you to do the same thing. Go for 30 seconds to a full minute of each of these exercises. You can build in a little bit more speed if you want to, and over time you're going to see some amazing results. Keep in mind, this is very important, this is not about getting a visible six-pack. If you want to have a visible six-pack, sit on the bike, go for a run. That's going to be much more effective than doing any kind of abdominal work. This is purely for core strength. If you're someone who does a lot of calisthenics, if you're someone who does a lot of powerlifting or deadlifting or whatever it is, then you're going to need the core strength and you're going to need the stability, and this is what that is for. So for everyone who enjoyed this, thank y'all. Leave a like down below, and I'll see y'all tomorrow because new videos every day. Captain Cairo, peace out.